Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ATS OwnOps. We haven't been on for a while, actually. Sorry for the lack of videos the past couple of days. Have a couple of stories and I'll share them with you, a couple of updates. But yes, we have a bit of a shorter job today. Just 199 miles from Lakeview going to Reading. And I believe this 299 state route is a bit of a newer road from the California rework. So we should be encountering some nice roads along the way. Anyway, let's get started and I'll go storytelling, okay? I did miss driving this Mack, so I'm happy to be back. It's a bit loud. Let's close the windows. 3:45 in the afternoon, 3:46 now. And if I look at my manifest, I should get there in 4 hours. So that's around 7, 8. Oh crap, that's going to be evening. Should have started this job earlier. But you work with what you have. Anyway, let's get going. So how are you guys doing? Hope you're doing fine. Let's turn on the lights here. I have had a couple of changes in my setup. Some are by choice, some are not so, and I shared many of these in the previous flight sim stream a couple of days ago. But I'll share them here now because I think more people watch this than the flight sim stream, just so everyone is updated. So recently, well, the biggest thing I guess is I have a new shifter. I finally replaced my G27 shifter with the Thrustmaster TH8A shifter. And I must say, goodness, the feel is definitely something different. It's a lot more of a premium feel. Doesn't feel like a toy anymore. Doesn't feel so plasticky anymore. And I changed it because I was waiting for the G27 shifter to finally give out. And it has not fully given out yet, but it is starting to. So it started malfunctioning in terms of recognizing which gear I'm in, or sometimes even kind of like going out of gear automatically. Like you think you're in gear and then suddenly it goes back to neutral, things like that. So I think it's starting to degrade because of the cable, because of the wear and tear and whatnot. So that gives me the perfect excuse to finally get a new shifter. And thankfully there is one in stock here in Singapore. It's a bit pricey, but it took only 1 day for the shifter to arrive at my doorstep. And I have it set up now. That being said, I'm still a bit not so used to it. Because if you guys Google the TH8A shifter from Thrustmaster, it's a bit different. It has an H shifter layout, yes, but it actually can go up to 7 gears. So if you imagine the H shifter with like 6 slots, this one has like 8 slots for gears. So there is a chance that when I move to a higher gear, like right now, instead of going to the, how do you say, like the 6th position, I go to the 8th position, something like that. It's a bit hard to describe, but there's that additional column to the right side. But it takes some getting used to, but yeah, I think I'll get used to it eventually, so that shouldn't be an issue. I go into the wrong gear every now and then, but it's not a big deal. I can adjust. And welcome to California. That quick. We've already crossed from Oregon to California. Nice. And yeah, so far so good. I've done a couple of drives with it, silent trucking, offline drives, just testing it out, and I really like it. It requires a bit of change in my setup. It requires a separate USB slot. The cable is a bit different. The mounting is a bit different. But mostly, it works. and it's great. So we will keep with this setup moving forward. Oh, this is the relatively new thing. Yeah, definitely this is from the California rework, because this is the agricultural inspection thingy. Alright, let's stop over here. You can even see the icon. So they'll need to inspect if we're carrying anything that has any kind of agricultural thing in there. What are we carrying anyway? We are carrying household appliances, 24,000 pounds. Goodness. Yeah, just a tad heavy. Yes, supposedly no agriculture here. Good. No pests, no anything. Right. So we're clear, we're good. But yes, one side effect of the shifter, if you compare the G27 shifter with the TH8A shifter, is it actually has no buttons. It has the gears, right, for shifting, but it has no other buttons. And if you compare that with the G27 shifter, the G27 shifter has like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, around 12 buttons all in all, I guess, including the directional pad. So I lost 12 buttons in effect because I changed my shifter. So now what I'm doing is I actually am using my Stream Deck. So I don't need to reach out for my keyboard. I have my Stream Deck, which is a bit neater, and that's what I'm using as like my button box. It's it works very well. Just takes some getting used to. With muscle memory, still looking for the buttons sometimes, but it works. I shared a couple of photos in Discord about it, nothing big, but just to give you an idea of what happened, how it looks now. And if you're not in Discord yet, you can join in. You have to email me though, theclumsygeek@gmail.com, so I can give you the link, because we're trying to minimize the sharing of the links, because we've had some troll incidents in the past and we don't want that to happen again if possible. Right, stop sign coming up. Just coast along here. Where's the stop sign? There it is. You see it? Yeah, floating gears is actually a bit easier now, even if I still have to get used to the feeling. Because it's, how do you describe, way more snappy. I actually get to feel the shifting a lot more, so I can time the floating of the gears much better. Not sure if I can explain that better. But yeah, because the feedback of the shifter, the feel of the shifter is more tactile. You know, you feel it more. It's less plasticky. It snaps into place. You know, there's a bit of resistance in there. You kind of can feel shifting a lot better. So yes, that's something that I really like. And just as I say that, I missed the gear. No, but we're here. Anyway, so yes, that's the shifter thing. There's one more. So that's the one by choice. That's the change in my setup by choice. There is another one not by choice, and it's a bit unfortunate, but kind of is a blessing in disguise at the same time. So if you guys search Clumsy triple monitor in the YouTube search bar, Clumsy triple monitor, you'll see my setup. I have a video where I share how my desk looks, more or less, and it's basically a triple monitor screen, side by side, and I mostly use the center screen, the center monitor, for the actual game, like what you're seeing right now. And then the sides I use as utility for OBS, for the recording, for notes and whatever, and it's very handy. And sometimes when I'm playing offline, I can actually play triple monitors. All three monitors have the game, so it's a very widescreen field of view, if you can imagine it. And I think that video highlights what it looks like. And it's pretty cool because you can like drive a truck and you can see both side mirrors end to end. So I don't need track IR when I'm having that triple monitor setup. As a consequence, the frame rate is a lot lower because you can imagine the the GPU has to render 3 times more stuff, right? Because it's rendering 3 monitors instead of 1. So the resolution is tripled. So that takes a lot of FPS away. But then again, doesn't need to be that smooth because there's not much camera movement. You don't need to move your head anymore like this, because you see everything already. So yeah, it's a great setup, but it's not good for content creation because I cannot really easily share that triple screen. I need a camera, and the camera is not as clear as seeing the actual screen. So anyway, that's not there anymore, ish. So what happened was, one day, as I was looking at my desk, I noticed, so the triple monitor screen is made possible by a monitor arm. So I have a monitor arm. It's kind of like pegged in the middle of the table, and it's holding all 3 monitors in place. And can you imagine the scenario? And one day, well, a couple of days ago, I noticed this monitor arm was actually leaning forward towards me. Instead of being vertically upright, this monitor arm, it's actually leaning towards me. And so the monitors also were leaning towards me. It's like, what the heck is happening? And when I look below, because this monitor arm is secured by a clamp on the table, when I look at the clamp, oh my goodness, my heart skipped a beat. Is that the right expression? Because apparently the table, the clamp was biting into the table so hard, probably because of the weight, combined weight of all 3 monitors, that eventually the table is giving out. Like the clamp is actually biting into the wood of the table, and the wood is starting to splinter. And bit by bit, it's leaning, the monitor arm is leaning forward bit by bit. So I'm glad I noticed it before anything else happened. But that meant I had to do something. So this is why it's not by choice. So I had to redo my entire setup in the desk. I had to remove the monitors, remove the monitor arm. I had to bring back the default stands of each of the monitors. And unfortunately, because I don't have enough table space, my table is not big enough. If I'm using the stands of each of the monitors, the default stands of each monitor, I actually cannot have them all in landscape. Like that video you see, the triple monitor side by side, all in landscape mode, that is not going to fit anymore. Because if you look at the monitors, if you look at that video, it's you can see that the side monitors are kind of floating. And if you imagine putting a stand in the middle of those monitors, left and right monitors, the stand would not be on the table, right? It would go out of the table. So because my table is small, the monitors are kind of floating and just held in place by the monitor arm. So when I use the default monitor stands for each one, it doesn't fit anymore. Thankfully, I still have triple monitors right now. I was able to find a way, but they are not anymore in landscape mode. So my main monitor, my center monitor is as is. It's actually, I think, in a better spot right now. It's a bit more to the back, so I can see more of it. But my side monitors are now in portrait mode. They are vertical instead of horizontal. Right? So if you can imagine my triple monitor setup, it's now like an H, letter H. Because the monitors on the side are vertical and the monitor in the center is horizontal. So it's kind of an H setup now. And that means, unfortunately, I cannot anymore drive in triple monitor setup. That's just one of the downsides, right? Thankfully, you guys are not affected with that because I don't really stream or record with that kind of scenario. In that kind of scenario, that's mostly for me or my offline driving. And although I will miss it, I think it's okay because ultimately now I'm trying to get used to this new H setup, I'm calling it. I have an H shifter and now I have an H setup monitor. Hey, that's a good title of the video. Yeah, so far it actually seems like it's more productive. Like it's better for productivity. Because before, with the triple monitor setup, I did not have enough real estate space, so I was a bit too close to the monitors, apparently. So much so that the edges of the left and right monitors, the outer edges, are outside my peripheral vision already. And I have to really look left or look right, so much so that it hurts my neck just to see what is there. So normally I don't use the outer edges of the monitors. And that's just wasted space, right? Now, because the monitors are in each setup, the side monitors are in portrait mode, so vertical, I can actually see their entirety. My microphone is not blocking the monitors, well, minimally, it's only blocking it minimally. And yeah, so far it's great. In terms of productivity, it's actually a blessing in disguise because I get to see a lot more stuff. I get to use more of the monitors. So yes, in terms of having those monitors as utilities, for putting in apps, for recording, for notes, for all the other third-party applications, especially when doing flight sims, they are much more functional now. Takes some getting used to, but I like it. But yeah, unfortunately, yes, I lost the triple monitor gaming setup or possibility. It's not that big of a deal. It's yeah, I don't miss it that much yet. We'll see if something changes in the next couple of weeks. But yes, I can bring back my monitor arm, but I will have to buy a new sturdier table. And I'm too lazy to do that. We'll see, maybe in a couple of months. But for now, I like this setup. So yes, I shared a bit of a photo of Discord on that. Not quite, but when I took a photo of the shifter and the stream deck, a bit of the monitor setup also was in there. But yes, so that's the update on my end. What else? And yes, by the time this video released, I should have been able to share with you a couple of interesting stuff already. New stuff in the ATS department. I have to give a huge thanks to Zeemod. So I've been working with Zeemod in some of his mods, as you guys might know. He occasionally gives me some of the early access to the sounds, to the other mods that he's releasing, Zeemods. So I can feature them in advance and you guys can decide if you want it or not, if it's something you would want to have on your own. So it helps you decide. And so it's a win-win for everybody. And Zeemod is able to get more reach for his products. But recently, he actually gave me a coupon. So with Zeemod's website, from time to time he has giveaways. He can give you a coupon code so you get a discount or get a product for free. Well, I'd like to thank Zeemod because he actually gave me a coupon code that I can use indefinitely. So I can use it for any of the products I would like to check out and share with you guys. And my goodness, that means I should now have access to all his mods. Granted, I've bought most of them anyway, but I did miss some of them, and for sure the upcoming ones I have not bought yet. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. So huge thanks to Zeemod, so you guys can expect more of the Zeemod stuff I can feature. Now that being said, I try to keep as neutral as I can, I share my opinions and I try to be as honest as I can. I tend to be more on the positive side of things, right? More glass half full kind of thing. So I might try to focus more on the good points and then mention a bit of the bad points but don't dwell on them. So I normally do it that way when I review products, you could say, or when I check out products, and they're never official reviews. They're mainly like impressions on my end, personal opinions. But yes, I still want to have that feeling of neutrality in a way. So I highlight the good points. Maybe I emphasize the good points a bit more. But at the end of the day, if I don't think a product is good, then I will not feature it, and I will not share it with you. Or at the most, I will share it, but I will let you decide on your own. That's something I always wanted to do. No, not just because I get something for free, I would recommend it already. So in most cases, thankfully, what the heck happened here? In most cases, thankfully, we've had whenever I get a free product, it's from very reputable guys anyway, you know, right? Tried and tested, and the mods they have is something I would want for myself anyway, and then I just got it for free. But occasionally I would get some mods that I get for free, some games, and it's not as good as I would want, or it's not something I would recommend. So normally for those cases, I try and not feature them at all. So if you have not seen a product from me, that either means I have not tried it, or I tried it, but I don't recommend it. So one of those things, and it's hard to tell which is which. But yes, I try to be as honest as I can, and I try to be as transparent as I can about the process. So when someone asks about something, a mod I tried or not, I try to share if I've tried it. If I have, then what are my opinions on it? And if I've tried it already and it's not in the channel, then chances are good that I'm having a hard time recommending it. So maybe I'm getting a bit more feel for it and trying to get a better feel for it, so I can focus more or find more of the good stuff. Or maybe I can't find many good stuff about it, so I cannot showcase it. Or maybe, as is with time these days, you might have noticed due to the lack of videos, I'm very busy in real life at the moment, guys. So yes, I will keep you posted as soon as I have news, but things are taking shape, and the videos might be slowing down. But I'll keep you posted, and I'll try to continue as much as I can. But yes, I will let you know as soon as I have more info. Good. We're here. Sorry guys, it's a bit of a night drive, but I hope I was able to keep you company with my stories. That's the problem with these, with winter, right? I'm excited to go to spring already. So I don't like this very short daytime. It looks good. I think we can line it up properly like so. Thankfully this trailer is very nimble. That looks okay. Try to avoid the cone as well for immersion. There you go, narrowly missed it. That should be straight out. So, okay, over on this side, it's a bit more spacious on that side, so let's try to get a bit more space there, and then get it back in, maybe something like so, right? Can't see the cone anymore from here, but I'm waiting for it to go green. It's a bit hard to see. Actually, it's we're beyond now. Did I go too much backward? Okay, I think that's green. 1 second. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay, it's very hard to notice, this isn't it? Goodness, okay. Yeah, so next on the upgrade list, maybe a new table or maybe the wheel. So far, the wheel is working great. Still the G27 wheel, just the shifter I replaced, but the wheel and the pedals are still G27. And I'm using the updated force feedback plugin now. So I'm no longer using the in-game force feedback. I like much better the default FFB, especially if you have a G27, I highly recommend it. For G29, it might feel a bit different, but for G27, goodness. Supric did an amazing job with the FFB plugin. As always, guys, all of these are in the mods list, and link is in the video description. There you go. Alright, but yes, thank you for hanging out with me for a bit today. Happy to get back into trucking, it's been a while. And thank you for letting me share with you some of my updates and stories. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and Clumsy Trucking. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.